चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनौ रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। For most of us, ever since our childhood, we would all have been fascinated by this great, mighty monkey hero, Hanumanji. Just like most of you, I also from my childhood would love listening to the stories of Hanumanji. But ever since Pujya Gurudev had the sankalpa or the thought of bringing Veer Hanuman here in Sidhbari, and Guruji making us all stand along with the brahmacharis. That time I would come as a Yuva Kendra, and in that space where Hanumanji is now standing, would teach us and encourage us to chant Hanuman Chalisa. And ever since then, Sri Hanuman Chalisa has been not only a great inspiration in my life, great solace whenever needed, and also great strength whenever it is required. In fact, at all times. Some of you are familiar that the maximum discourses or Gyan Yajnas that I have spoken of or been part of has been on Sri Hanuman Chalisa, and the demand still goes on repeatedly in the same places. And the maximum amount of Gyan Yajnas, much over 100, on Sri Hanuman Chalisa alone. And its mighty powers and benefits in our life, we know. When we were thinking about the subject for this Sri Hanuman Mastabhishek camp, number of times I had chance in these five years to come and speak on different subjects, and particularly on Sri Hanuman Ashtakam, that is Sankat Mochan Hanuman. And Pujya Guruji just told me, so what are you going to speak upon? And before I could say anything, he decided what I am going to speak upon. He said, these are the beautiful verses called as Sri Hanuman Namaskaram. I am giving it, I am sending it to you, and I am also chanting it and sending it to you. And I am myself writing it and sending it to you. You will take that. You know? And when I read those verses, they are all invocation verses. They don't seem to be in any order of the story of Hanumanji. And I said, this Hanumanji always puts me into some challenge or the other. And as far as Hanumanji is concerned, no challenge is great for him. And since it is Guruji's Adesh, I didn't even think twice what I am going to speak on during this camp. Anyway, it's going to be on Hanumanji, it's going to be inspiring only, And I'm glad I didn't decide to change, because first thing he landed up here, I hope you're speaking on those verses. I said, will I ever disobey you? May I never disobey you? And I think it is such a great opportunity that these are beautiful verses that are chanted by speakers in the invocation of Hanumanji, particularly during the discourses of the Ramayana, and in that too also Sri Valmiki Ramayana. In the invocations, these beautiful verses are chanted, and they have been selected by Guruji himself. So these are the 6 verses he has given, and 7 days there is a surprise, the 7th day. So these are known as verses saluting, adoring Sri Hanumanji. I'll chant them. Please repeat after me. It's there towards the end of your book. Did you find it? Goshpadi Kritavarisham Mashaki Kritarakshasam Ramayanam Mahamala Ratnam Vande Nilatmajam Goshpadi Kritavarisham Mashaki Kritarakshasam Ramayanam Mahamala Ratnam Vande Nilatmajam. Vande, I salute, surrender to whom? Anilatmajam, one born of Vayu, who is also called as Anila. Why is Vayu called as Anila? Because he has got no nilayam, no abode. There is no home, and in fact, there is no abode, shelter, roof that can limit or in which wind or air can stay alone in. In fact, spreads all over space, moves over mountains, around mountains, stays even in the caves, and can penetrate even the small cracks in your door and provide you oxygen when you shut all your doors and windows. Can go into the smallest of all spaces, including the smallest of all hearts. Can creep to any place in this world, and no one can stop this Vayu, air, and therefore he is called as Anilayam, not confined. Not confined to anyone, not confined to anything, not confined to any place. And therefore, even in Kenopanishad, when Vayu Devata goes to meet the Yaksha, and the Yaksha asks him, who are you? He said, I am the one who is the toddlers of the skies. And what can you do? He said, I move everywhere in space and I can blow anything on my path. And this Vayu, who as the gentle breeze can soothe us, cool us, caress us, delight us, can also take the form of the mighty wind and a storm, a hurricane or a cyclone or a typhoon, and can blow anything on its path and lift anything from its path, uproot anything and throw it far away. Such is the might of Pavan. And it is because of Pavan that even in this body, it is because as prana, he moves in every cell of our body, even the most minute of all cells. This prana, because of which the whole world is sustained with life, all living beings are sustained with life, he is called as Anila. And Hanumanji is considered to be Vayuputra Pavanasuta Anila Atmajam, born of Anila or the son of Pavan. And about it, I have no doubts. How did Hanumanji come here in Sidhbari? In 81, Puja Gurudev had his first camp, and that's when I had the opportunity of visiting and coming here for this camp. And at that time, I had seen the might of the wind, how it used to storm in this area. And I hear that Gurudev chose, when he was passing through Yol, he spotted this land where there were no trees. It was on a hillock, as you can see, just near Sidhbari, the abode of the Siddhas. This hillock, and no tree was growing here, and he said, I'll build the ashram here because then I don't have to cut down trees. Compassion of great masters is boundless. Even if you come to Pavai, that big tree in the middle of Tapovan, Vihar, that office building, he didn't cut that. He built a building around it, and today that building, that tree crowns that beautiful, making that building look beautiful. The reason for that was, later on of course, we find out that this area being a funnel, the wind used to blow so strong, and I had seen it during the Vivek Chudamani camp in this month of September, October. The way the wind used to blow, that it could blow off anything, The windows used to bang. It used to be, and you could see as the dust gathering up, almost taking a ferocious form. Next camp when I came, and again the wind was there, hail was there, and Puja Gurudev was standing just here. And we were, few of us around him. That night it had stormed, the wind was blowing strong, nothing could grow in this area, and Puja Gurudev was standing there. Pavan Devata is blowing too strong here. And Gurudev, how he used to describe, what if I erect a huge Hanumanji here. And since his son is here, the father will have to gently come and embrace him. He can't come running and bang, And that's how he conceived of Veer Hanuman here. And he said that Hanuman will be sitting here, looking at the whole of Bharat, sitting in Veer Asan, ever ready to rise up and fight against all evil and low tendencies. And ever since on October 10th, 1982, when Hanumanji came here, and nowhere, Hanumanji is Sundar, but the way you see Hanumanji here, even though sitting in Veer Asan, that look, that presence, so benign and yet so mighty, ever ready to protect us at all times, as well as to protect our Bharatiya culture. He sits there in Veer Asan. And ever since that, the wind comes gently into Sidhbari. And after that, you can see that in the Sidhbari ashram itself, there are hundreds of species of plants from around the world growing, that has become a biological paradise in just these few acres, where everybody used to think that nothing is going to grow. They say that when a Mahatma resides somewhere, everything is at peace and nature itself transforms. And bringing Hanumanji here, he said, within 1 year, Hanuman has come. So will now his master, Sri Ram and Sita, Lakshman are going to come here. At that time, an impossibility to bring all the materials from the south, and as he always wanted integration, to bring the materials from the south, those granite pillars, and build a temple here, literally with the village boys, Vanar Sena, and within 1 year, this temple of Sri Ramchandraji came. And Gurudev had said that Hanumanji will make it possible. And whatever came from his Mastak Abhishek, with that the temple was built, and he said this temple belongs to nobody but to Hanumanji, for his master. Therefore, when you have come here performing the Mastak Abhishek of Hanumanji, and from around the world, those of you who have sponsored it, it is always for Ramachandra ke Kaj Saware. So this word, Anilatmajam, the son of Vayu, and of all the elements are constantly serving us. But without air, we cannot survive even more than a few minutes. And if anybody is serving us day in and out, even while we sleep, we have to breathe. Otherwise, if you have not done it all in your life, somebody would be doing Ram Naam Satya Hai. And we do not value it. Earth Now you know land has got what value, no? Yeah, go try buying land anywhere now. Yeah. Water is going to be the most expensive commodity if we don't take care right now. Fuel, you know how expensive it is, fire. And these days there is space tax also. Thank God there is no air tax. But you know when the pandemic hit to get oxygen, how difficult it was and how many died just because it was not available at the right time. And yet we do not value it. This is called as one who serves us, and we do not even recognize or express our gratitude of his service. And therefore service with humility is Pavan Devata and his son Hanuman. Nor does Pavan see whether you are a sinner or a saint. Yeah. Whether you are in Ayodhya or you are in Lanka. Whether you are in India or in China or Pakistan or America or England. Whatever that creature might be, from a mouse to a human being, Pavan Devtas gives life to everyone. And wherever the wind flows, there is purity. Whatever may be the stinking place, the moment you open up the windows and you allow the air to flow, it will purify, it will clean up everything. And Hanumanji is the son of Anila, of Pavana. So this is Pavana Sutta Hanuman, and I bow down, I salute this son of Vayu. And who is he and what is he? He's son of Pavan Devata. Some of our parents might be very great, but what do you turn out? Yeah? You never know, right? And I think it was this first line that enchanted Guruji so much, because he kept on repeating it to me, and I could see it horripilations in his body. Goshpadi Kritavarisham. So I bow down to Pavana Sutta Hanuman, who crossed the vast ocean as though even a child passes over the puddle made by the hoof of a cow. Goshpadi Krita Varisham. During the rainy season, when the soil is soft, and when the cows go to the field, in the weight of the cow, their hoof marks are left behind. And their hoof marks which are left behind, when it rains, now how much is the size of a hoof mark of a cow? The cow's hoofs are so small, even though the cow is big, its hoofs are so small. And the impression it makes upon the earth, and then when it filled up with water, how big is that puddle of water? And how huge, vast, deep is the ocean? When you look at the ocean, its limits you cannot see, It goes beyond the horizon. Its depth till today we have not been able to measure. It runs around the periphery of the whole earth, encompassing the land masses. But the end of the ocean is not seen. And this Pavana Sutta Hanuman jumped across the ocean as though it was just a puddle made by the hoof of a cow. Which means he made the ocean look so small by his mighty feat of crossing this ocean. Mashaki Krita Rakshasam. And he smashed all the Rakshasas as though they were mosquitoes. Or he made the mosquitoes out of the Rakshasas. Just as the ocean appeared as a puddle in front of the leap of Hanumanji, the mighty ocean appeared as a puddle. Same way these Rakshasas were made to become like mosquitoes. These mighty, ferocious Rakshasas were made to feel like a mosquito, and whom he squashed so easily as mosquitoes are squashed. Nowadays you have a racket, isn't it? The thrill of that sound, however sadist it might be, but that mosquito that bites you, irritates you, that does not even allow you to meditate or to sleep. Yeah? And when you are able to take that racket and then go, but those times when there were no such rackets, I remember one trip, we had gone to Mathiran, and we children, only our mothers were with us, and we got stuck at Karjat, and we were given the waiting room of the station at night because we couldn't go anywhere at night. There were only women and children, and there were so many mosquitoes in the waiting room itself, and we children could not sleep. We were just scratching, and we were just and whole night our mothers remained awake with those dim lights, and every time we would hear we used to feel thrilled that now we can sleep for a few minutes. In the same way, any of these Rakshasas troubling the Rama Bhaktas, the Yajnakarta Rishis, Hanumanji made a mosquito or smashed them like mosquitoes are smashed. And Hanumanji, though, he's so fast, crack, 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 Oh, at one time, if you see the war also, what he did in Lanka when he went first time, but there's another nice meaning of this only, which in the previous session, Guruji mentioned, and I tell you, you get such beautiful ideas when you meditate on this verse, that these Rakshasas, evildoers, selfish, greedy, aggrandizing, those who live a life of only harming others for their selfish sense pleasures, power, lust, Hanumanji made them into mosquitoes. And it was mentioned in the previous session, that somewhere we would have probably been mosquitoes and touched by Sri Ram or some bhakta. It is said that Bhagwan or Bhagwan's bhakta, if anybody dies from their hand, they attain liberation. Yeah? That we also got this birth, which asura we were in the previous life. Yeah? To get this kind of birth also, which in Viveka Chudamani it is said is so rare, especially having such a Mahapurusha in our life like Gurudev. Such a life indeed is the rarest of the rarest. And Goswami Tulsidas ji says, Binu satsang vivek na hoi, Ram kripa binu sulabh na soi. We may even have countless life of punyas. It is only when it is blessed by the grace of Bhagwan do we even get satsang. And in that satsang, to find our Guru and become a disciple, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. Such a indeed blessing is indeed rare. And remember, when we were brahmacharis in the ashram, Guruji used to say that what do we think we could have deserved? People say, no, I must have done a lot of punyas to have deserved. No amount of punya can deserve the infinite. Yeah? Said that some Mahapurusha, we must have probably just like mosquitoes touched their feet. And therefore we have got such a birth to get liberation in this life itself. And so Hanumanji did not go just destroying the Rakshasas, but what he made out of these Rakshasas. So one meaning is that he destroyed these Rakshasas like mosquitoes. And you know also what happens, when the wind comes in, these mosquitoes are driven off. They dry off also. That's why whenever the wind comes in, the mosquitoes disappear. See the comparison, At the same time, like mosquitoes who are just blessed for even having got this charan sparsha of some great Mahatma. And I tell you, it is said in the Ramayana, that Bhagwan Ramchandra ji, after the rainy season, or when the autumn season came, he felt so relieved because this mosquitoes, so I don't feel bad when I get this, He said this dvamsa. So even Ramchandra ji used to get very bitten by mosquitoes, because mosquitoes don't like, the local blood. They love NRI blood. Ramchandra ji had come to Panchavati, and Chitrakoot. And that too also prince blood, So, they have got taste. You should know that, right? So plenty of mosquitoes used to bite Ramchandra ji. Who knows, some of them are us. But they also got blessed. And having been killed by Ramchandra ji or by Ramaduta, these all Rakshasas attained whether higher abodes or eventually liberation. So that's the meaning of Mashaki Krita Rakshasam. So even in killing these Rakshasas, they were only liberated. Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam. Ramayana has been depicted here as the great necklace made up of jewels and pearls, mala. So, Ramayana Maha Mala Ratnam. Amongst the beautiful pearls of this great epic Ramayana, the pendant jewel is Hanumanji. And we know also, right? Listen to the whole Ramayana, it is the glory of Ramchandraji. But Ramchandraji's glories shine out so brilliantly when Ramduta Hanumanji comes into the picture, is it not? And even when Hanumanji in the Ramayana, Hanumanji appears in the Kishkinda Kand as the emissary of Sugriva. Even though even that time, intelligent, eloquent person of knowledge, of such character and dignity that even Ramchandraji, even though he has come in a disguise, Ramchandraji tells Lakshman that this doesn't seem to be an ordinary brahmachari. Must have come from Chinmaya mission. Yeah. So if you do carry the name, see that people call you with such repute. That even Ramchandraji praises him, that such eloquence cannot come until unless he is the knower of the four Veda. He is the knower of all grammar. He is not some ordinary person, because our first meeting, our first presence, our first introduction, our first conversation makes an impression, and especially on the wise people and great people, if you try to show off and make an impression, you'll only make a boo-boo of yourself. Open your mouth and you reveal your what's inside. Therefore, most of the time keep it shut. And if you have to ever open it only for the most sacred. And Mother Saraswati comes and sits on your tongue. He is the jewel in the entire necklace, or that beautiful pendant that shines out in the Ramayana. And we know the whole Ramayana gains its enthusiasm. But even Hanumanji, his full valor, splendor, beauty comes when he ventures forth to do Ramakaj. And that is when he comes to the shores of Bharat, and when no one else is ready to jump across the ocean, which is a mighty feat. And everybody thinks it is impossible. And everybody measuring their own strength think it is impossible to cross Shatayojan, this 800 miles, and go to Lanka. Continental shifts were taking place. Lanka was not so close. Some people feel it's Australia. Yeah. But 800 miles to cross over, while most people thought it was impossible and nobody was ready to jump across because it was sure death, drowning in the ocean. Because Angad ke sang lena gaye siya, khoj kapis yah ben ucharo, जीवत ना बची हो हम सोजू इहा sudhi siya sudhi pranubharu. That if you do not come here finding Sita ji, in the front is the ocean, we will drown, and if we go back, Sugriv will kill us. And while all of them sat there helpless, unable to cross the ocean, that is where Vidyavan guni ati chatur Ram kaj karibe ko atur Prabhu charitra sunibe ko rasiya Ram lakhan Sita man basiya. At that moment, reminded by Jambavan, that story is coming later on, Hanumanji crossed the ocean, making it look just like a puddle made by the hoof of the cow. And there we begin to see what is the glory of a Rama Bhakta. And if the Bhakta's glory is such, then what is the glory of Sri Ram? And therefore, he is that crest jewel. We say Chudamani, we say. And here, Mala Ratna means he is that precious jewel that adorns the pendant of the Ramayan necklace. The mighty epic with such great personalities, but the way Hanumanji shines out there. And also very significant. In the entire Ramayana, where such beautiful stories, such great values, such acts of valor, as well as such greatness is depicted, and that whole journey of Ramchandra ji to Lanka and back, bringing Sita back, that entire story is full of such pearls of wisdom, whether it is dharma, bhakti or jnana. But what is the real jewel of the Ramayana? And why Hanuman is considered to be the jewel of Ramayana? It is said it was Shivji who composed the Ramayana first. And all the Devtas, Danavs, Asuras, they approached Bhagwan that we hear that you've got this great, mighty knowledge. Please give us of the Ramayana. It is said that 100 crore verses. And people think they are great acharyas of Ramayana. 100 crore verses, out of which Sri Valmiki ji, some 30,000 odd verses are there. 100 crore. Now, children they want equal this, share. And equal shares. So he gave 33 crores. Then how much was remaining? 1 crore. So these figures, if we are asking for the university, this is from 1,000 crores. For the university is a big thing. Only one Ramaduta could could give such amounts, small, small amounts also, where and what we could achieve? 100 crores, out of that also 33 crores, then 1 crore was remaining, that also 30 lakhs, then 30,000, 33,000, and after that 1,000 was remaining, that also, then only finally one verse was remaining, that also Anushtup Chanda, so 32 letters were there in that. That also they want a division, because from parents they will squeeze out everything. When it comes to giving to the parent, and 30 words of letters from the Ramayana also they grabbed. Finally only 2 letters were remaining. Just 2 letters were remaining. And they said, now divide. They said, this cannot be divided in any case. And you cannot separate them, you cannot divide them, and this, I think, I can keep it for myself. And those 2 letters were Ra and Ma. And Hanumanji is considered to be the very embodiment of Rama Nama. And there's a beautiful story we have all heard as a child, but every time you hear it, that once Mother Sita, very pleased with Hanumanji, did not know what to give when he came down, when he came over to bow down to her. She gave her pearl necklace, and Sita ji's pearl necklace, Adi Parashakti, Lakshmi Devi's, Bhakti Mata's pearl necklace is not some ordinary necklace. Even as the Queen of Ayodhya, her necklace could not be an ordinary pearl necklace, not these sculptured Mikimoto pearls. Yeah. All her friends and all were envious that, she's given this pearl necklace to a monkey. What is this monkey? We will tell you tomorrow. But to a monkey, given this pearl necklace, and we would have worn on those beautiful saris that you were recommended to wear, that you could not show off for the last 2 years. Okay, so to wear those beautiful saris, on that if you wore Sita ji's pearl necklace, and then you modeled it, then that pearl necklace also, but a monkey wearing a pearl necklace, they were in their own mind feeling very jealous. And that evening, as Sita ji was walking in the garden, and her feet so soft, that's why Ramchandra ji, when they went to the forest, he said, and so did Kaushalya Mata, and Dashrath Maharaj said, this girl who has not put her feet on the ground other than on velvet, how will she walk barefooted on the ground? And she did it. But her soft feet, as she walks in the garden, something pokes her. She picks up, she sees these shining, smooth things, broken pieces. Her friends laugh at her and say, this is what you get when you throw pearls in front of monkeys. And she sees Hanumanji sitting on the tree, taking out one pearl, breaking it, biting into it, looking into it, throwing it, biting into it, throwing it, biting into it, throwing it, biting into it, throwing it. And at that time, Sita ji, of course, a precious gift, and Hanumanji not valuing whatever you give someone. If that person doesn't value it, you feel offended. And she's given such a precious gift out of so much love. And Hanumanji is not only not wearing it, but he's breaking it, biting into it, and throwing it away. He said, Hanuman, what are you doing? Do you know how precious these pearls are? He says, no, mother, these are not at all precious, and throws the whole necklace on the ground. He says, what do you mean? Do you even know what preciousness means? He says, not one pearl has Ram or Ram's name in it. It is worthless. And And as he throws the necklace, Sitaji got very upset and said, as though Ram is in you. And that's when he jumped down and he tore open his chest. And what does she see? Ram, Sita, Lakshman in his heart, and from every pore of his body she could hear Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Sri 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 Ram. So, what is and Goswami Tulsidas ji says in the very beginning of the Ramayana that I am presenting this Ramayana with my little intelligence gathered from all the rich sources of the Ramayana, and that too also in the language, local language of Awadhi. You might find whatever faults with it, but one thing is it that everything in this Ramayana becomes beautiful because it has got Ram Naam in it. And we say that Ratnamala, that Ratna is Ram Naam, and that Ram Naam is embodiment is Hanuman. And wherever Hanumanji is there, everything becomes perfect, everything becomes beautiful, everything shines out, and the most difficult task ever also, whenever we come in front of a big project, anything in our life to do, either an examination, or even an endeavor, or you start a business, or even a work, or even organizing this camp, at that moment it appears like a vast ocean. But they know that those who invoke Hanuman, and Ram kaj karibe ko atur, that mighty task that lays ahead of us, which is so daunting, challenging, difficult, that we make it into our problem, Hanumanji makes it as small as a puddle from the hoof of a cow, and any obstacle or any difficulties or any problems or any Rakshasa, he squashes them, or any negativity within you, he squashes them like these asuras, these mosquitoes, and enriching our life with Ram Naam. And Pujya Gurudev used to tell us, if the work that you are doing is noble and great, you remember the Lord and you do it. Prabhu mudrika meli mukhamahi jaladilangi gai acharajanahi. He says you just take the Lord's name and you start it. Even the most difficult task will be completed because it is His work. Don't put your ego and bring yourself into it. Yeah? The work will be done. And carrying that jewel in your heart. Pavanatanaya sankata harana mangalamurati rupa Ram Lakhan Sita Sahita Hridaya Basau Surabhup Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai Umapati Mahadev ki jai Bolo Bhai Sab Santan ki jai. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. आरती थाली for. Please fold your hands.
मंगल आरती सिया रघुवर की, दशरथ नंदन जनक सुता की, भरत लक्ष्मण रिपुसूदन की, रघुवर अति प्रिय पवन तनय की, मंगल मंगल मातु पिता गुरुजन की, सुंदर अवधपुरी सरजू की, सेवक साधु सखा पुरजन की, जनहित निरत सदा रघुपति के, मंगल मंगल नित नई राम कथा की, राम नाम जन जीवन धन की, मधुर मनोहर मन भावन की, प्रीति सिया रघुवर चरणन की, मंगल मंगल आराधन साधन की, समझ नियम ज्ञान निर्मल की, मंगल आरती तुलसीदास की, राम हृदय अति कोमल चित की, मंगल सिया रघुवर की, दशरथ नंदन जनक सुता की, मंगल आरती मंगल आरती। सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, उमापति महादेव की, बोलो भाई सब संतन की, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज